tankers, welcome back to the channel, and yep, we're going to be talking about the RHM WT, the Tier 8 tech tree German tank destroyer that leads up to the Grill A-15. And honestly, the RHM has been a decent tank since its original version. It has received a few buffs with consumables, allowing you to have better accuracy, and of course, if you want to change certain things with the provisions. But overall, it is a paper tank. You're going to get penned by everything. You're going to get HE'd by everything, unless if they hit your gun, your tracks, or get a weird funky angle and somehow bounce you, which would be a miracle for you, especially as the RHM. But let's go take a look at the statistics of this vehicle. Alright, so the RHM, I mean, you got 1,150 HP. Not the greatest, not the best, but it is a tier 8 tank destroyer. They kind of suffer on that HP. And that main armor, I mean, I was telling you, it's paper armor, 20 millimeters of armor. Most tanks are going to be able to HE you quite reliably. View range 260. It's pretty bad. Your concealment while stationary is 85, which is pretty flippin' fantastic. But once you shoot, like if you get a surprise spot on someone and you shoot them, well, don't expect to not be unspotted. Expect to be spotted. Damage per minute, you got 2,181. That is depending on how you want to run this vehicle. If you want to run the rammer, go ahead. I enjoy having the calibrated shells just to be able to have more pen and have more HE pen. And we're going to get into that really quick. Your average penetration is 232 with standard rounds, 377 with the heat rounds, which is, I mean, you can go through tier 10s, most tier 10s quite easily with 377. And then 92 for the high explosive. I mean, you meet any light tanks or the rear of most heavy tanks, tank destroyers at tier 7 and 9, even at tier 10, which you aren't going to face tier 10s, but you could do some pretty hefty damage, especially if you do pen, because you can do the 880 damage on those guys. But you have that 490 and then the 580 for heat and armor piercing. Dispersion, it's a big derpy gun for its second gun there, but if you do want to run the other guy, you do have less damage. You have a bit more penetration on the regular rounds, less on the heat and HE, but you're a lot more accurate. So definitely find your playstyle in being either more accurate or dumping the huge damage shells. 5 degrees of gun depression, not very fancy, so definitely be aware of that. Otherwise, you could make a bad play and expose yourself a bit too much to someone who is below you. Movement, it gets around. I do think for how light the tank is, it is quite sluggish, but it is what it is. You play it, you have fun, you dirt people, and then you move on to this guy, and then you move on to the Grill, which is probably the biggest disappointment out of the entire line. Anyways, let's go take a look at the battle that we have for this bad boy. Alright, we're going to be at Mayan Ruins. It's going to be a tier 8 matchup. And, whoops, sorry if you guys heard that notification from my phone. Someone was messaging me. But anyways, all tier 8. We're in a great map for this tank. I think most maps are pretty good for tank destroyers in Blitz. But this map specifically, there's some really good spots that you can definitely take over. Especially if they try to rush B, if you're playing like the Chinese tank destroyers. Once you get to the tier 9 and tier 10, they were really good at holding off B in the competitive scene, going to these bushes, that bush right there that overlooks B right here. You kind of just held down lines of sight. Anyways, we're setting up here to see if anyone's going to go A. Doesn't look like that, so we're going to support our team that's at B. Looking for a nice shot there. 654. Gotta love the 600 alpha guns at times. It's fun to take a step back and just aim and just slap people around with that HE. Not HE, but just overall damage. Oh boy, oh. We're gonna go for the side of that turret. The 584, bit of a low, but I mean, I'm happy I'm at 1,238 damage. Gonna be looking for a shot on this ground tank. I really would like to shoot the Scorpion G. Put an HE shell in that bad boy, but not really worth it anymore. We're gonna be helping our team get these heavy tanks as low as possible. 601 damage shot. We're almost up to 2,000 damage dealt. Not a bad reload though on this guy. We're gonna dump the reticle and adrenaline here, so try to get as much damage as possible before we kind of run off. Ooh, we're looking for a shot on him, but no, we're gonna go for a shot on the 77. 704 damage, which is a nice high roll. We're gonna turn around here to try to get out of here as fast as possible. Some people just want to back up all the way. I recommend just turning around. Your armor profile is pretty much the same. I'm gonna try an HE shell on this lower plate here. Doesn't pen, but it's still 300 damage off of that vehicle, making him a one-shot for us no matter what. Trying to look for that 5 degrees of gun depression. Is it gonna work or is it not? Ooh, here he is. He's a one-shot. Get the 480 damage. Shut down the mill at the 4,000 damage here. Team is gonna get shut down by the 54 lightweight, but we're gonna be pushing this guy even though we're spotted. Lightweight gets shut down. Scorpion G's a one-shot. Skoda's a one-shot. Ooh, caught him off guard. We can take maybe 2 shots if the 7.7 pens HE. Even then, if he high rolls with regular rounds. Up to 4,336 damage. Not a bad game. Hunting down the T-77. Looking for him. He's probably going. Last time I thought he was over here somewhere. Huh. He must be circling towards A. Maybe, I don't know. What the? Okay. Missed his first shot. Allows me to shoot heat into his turret there. 116 damage from its HE. Gee, oh boy, you're gonna try pushing me. Alright, heat into his turret. Finishing him off. Alright, what a fantastic game there with 4,982. We did get a 126 damage in assistance. We destroyed 3, damaged 5, gained some nice points from playing ranked. We do have that high caliber, and then we do have that golden arch. And some other weird medals, right? Made a hefty amount of profit there in experience and credits. And definitely helped carry that team to victory with a very interesting team. And a very interesting red team where they just kind of just sat in front of me. And those are the kind of games that you really hope for in the RHM, is when they just sit there and don't shoot you, and you can just farm up that damage and make your teammates look like they did nothing. That's the goal, right? Anyways, the RHM, do I think it's worth getting or skipping, playing, whatever? Honestly, I think it's a great tank. Both guns are quite fun to play. I prefer the big derpy gun just because it's a bit more fun just to relax, camp, use your camo, and then blast people away. Of course, it does become a struggle when you do get pushed, and you do need that higher DPM. But, honestly, if you play smart, and your teammates hold them off, you can support and deal a lot of damage. But, just be careful. If you play stupid, you're probably going to get pushed, or you're probably going to get HE'd a lot more, or just taken out a lot quicker. But I definitely think it is a fun tank in the line, and if you don't really enjoy this tank, definitely wait for the WT at tier 9, and that is the golden gem, in my opinion, of the entire line, where you get this gun, more HP, and honestly better mobility, and feels like it's a bit more accurate. Anyways, guys, hopefully you have an idea. If you want to grind this tank, skip it, or whatever's going to happen if the reforged update comes out, or whatever. I don't know. But, yeah, whatever they plan to do. Anyways, GG, take care, everyone, and have a good day.